Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. Welcome at Veeam. My name is Mike Ressler. I work for Veeam in the R&D team, product management. I'm responsible for a couple of solutions, backup of Microsoft 365. I've been working on VDC, the Veeam Data Cloud as well, and you've heard this morning the announcement of protection of Entra ID, which is also one of my areas where I have to work on. Today, I'm going to talk about backup of Microsoft 365, but something completely new. We can say it's the future, right? And I'm very happy that I'm joined here with Mr. Brad Gusson, Principal PM Manager for Microsoft. Brad?
Yeah, thank you all for joining the talk. Happy to be up here to help Mike talk about Microsoft 365 backup storage and Veeam's integration there. I am the product lead for that storage platform, and looking forward to chatting with you today.
All right. Just to be 100% clear, you can see here, if you want to see some other sessions around Veeam Backup for Microsoft 365, about Veeam Data Cloud and so on, we've got quite a few in the next couple of days. Certainly worth if you want to learn more about what is coming, because today we're going to go exclusively on this integration with Microsoft 365 backup storage. So if you want to learn about some other things, make sure you check out these sessions. But before we go in there, I think we need to look where we are today, and I think we are very certain of this. This is confirmed by many organizations. We are by far the market leader in protecting Microsoft 365 data. 20 million plus users and counting every day, more and more. We're growing very hard. We're seeing the need for this type of protection. You probably heard this a gazillion times already the last 2 days. You know, we're #1 provided by IDC. We've been 7 times in the Gartner Magic Quadrant now, 4 times as a leader, if I'm not wrong. And if I'm wrong, marketing will shoot me after the session, but that's okay. But when it comes to Microsoft 365 data, as I said, we are really seeing this growth, but we're also really seeing challenges, right? And that is extremely important. But because of that, I'm pretty happy that with the partnership we have with Microsoft, we can come up with a solution together for those challenges. And that is really what we want to talk about here today. How we can solve all the issues that probably many of you who are using Veeam Backup for Microsoft 365 today, that you're suffering from, or that you feel a little bit annoyed about, it can be solved with this new integration. So, how did it start? 7 years ago, end of 2016, if I'm not mistaken, I did my first release, version 1 of the solution. And in all honesty, don't tell this to anybody that I told you this, but we thought this would have been a great product for the SMB market. 300 users maximum, something like that. Right? We've done the research, we've spoken with many organizations and said, yeah, there is a market for the solution, but that will be your scope. We were wrong. We were seriously wrong. It was not only those organizations, it was much larger organizations till now, where we have discussions of customers of 180,000, 200,000 users. I don't want to give you the amount of SharePoint sites they have. It's crazy. Teams and so on and so forth. But we started, just like we did with Veeam 17 years ago, as backup software that, you as a customer, you could install it on premises. You could maybe install it on Azure virtual machines or something like that. But you had the choice, you could install it yourself. That was great in 2016. But we're now 8 years further, and we see it shifting. We're moving to backup as a service, where it's us doing it ourselves with VDC, where it is our service providers who are offering it for you as a software as a service solution. But we see that the shift is really moving to that backup as a service. Now, don't get me wrong, under any circumstances or the foreseeable future, we're not dropping any support for installing it on premises. In fact, everything what we're using with VDC is the same code as what our service providers are using, is the same code is what you can use on premises. There's no difference in it. Not even a code name, not even an install screen is different. It's all the same, right? But we see this big move, moving to backup as a service, and the need to start using those new technologies, which Brad will explain in depth in a couple of seconds, that we need to deliver that speed, which we don't have today, and to be able to protect at scale. Again, 180,000 users, 200,000 users. I am not joking. We have a customer that has over 2 million SharePoint sites and creates over 2,000 every week. Protecting that data becomes a big challenge, right?
I'll just add to that too. After being in the public cloud space for about a decade now, customers often underestimate the operational burden of managing their own service, and so you're much better off having someone like Veeam lift that undifferentiated heavy infrastructure for you, so you can focus on your core business priorities. It's a great solution that backs up as a service.
Exactly. All right. You have seen this morning, if I'm not mistaken, right, during the keynote. Times are changing. We need to adopt fast, right? SaaS environments, they are growing really, really quickly. Just a quick, how many of you here manage Microsoft 365? Yeah. Any one of you knows how fast your data is growing in that? Do you check? You know? That was one hand, two hands. You should check this on a weekly basis, just to be sure how fast your data is growing. I mean, how many of your users are deleting data from their inbox? I am kind of going to give away more or less my age by saying that I used to be an IT administrator where, you know, you had 100 megabyte data on your Exchange and start cleaning. Exchange Online didn't exist then, right? It was still on premises. We had to store. Today, they have 100 gigabytes. Store everything away, nobody cares, right? But it's growing rapidly, it's growing massively. The same with Teams. Whoever works in an environment that says, hey, everybody can ask or create their own teams. Everybody's clicking, creating teams. It's just a massive growth of data, right? Everybody is concerned with all of that data. What about ransomware? What about malware? By the way, one thing I do want to stress out, ransomware when it comes to Microsoft 365 is not the same as a big file server that gets encrypted, right? Let's be honest. Is it possible that you have ransomware? Yes. Is it possible over the entire solution? Absolutely not. But you can get malware and you can get other, you know, bad things happen, that's for sure. Brad, if you look at these stats from your unique perspective, working for more than a decade in all the cloud and all those things you see, what is your perspective on this?
Yeah, I think I'm not too surprised by these statistics you see on the screen in terms of data growth, in terms of ransomware becoming more and more of a problem, and really customers struggling to be able to recover their data from a ransomware attack in a timely manner soon after an incident occurs. I want to share some interesting numbers we see in Microsoft 365 to sort of highlight the scale growth challenges that customers are seeing. There's more than 2 billion with a B files created every single day in Microsoft 365, and many tenants growing at more than a petabyte a month. So we're really talking about massive scale here that requires new solutions to rise to the recovery challenges that lots of existing and new customers are seeing. This is only being exacerbated further in the age of generative AI, where more content is being created on behalf of your end users every day.
All right. So 2 billion, right?
2 billion. It's incredible.
So next year I want to be on stage and say, today we back up 2 billion files every day. Great, right? No. We recognized this challenge quite some time ago, but not only Veeam recognized the challenge, Microsoft saw the same thing. And what happened is they called us, more or less, quite some time ago, I think a year and a half, something like that ago, And we spoke about these challenges, and they came up with Microsoft 365 Backup Storage. At that point in time, it had a different code name. I'm not allowed to say it anymore, but and we started to discuss this and see how we could integrate. And what really cool is we're one of the 5, 6 first partners that work together with Microsoft. Every week we have meeting with their developers teams, with their product managers, to build this unique solution which will go live not so long anymore, right? I'm not sure if we're going to give GA dates, but we'll keep that maybe a little bit in the middle. But that was for me, it was one of the most fun things to do, the fact that both the engineering teams worked so closely together to bring something to the market that will solve those 2 billion plus files that need to get protected every day, right? Those millions of SharePoint sites and so on and so forth. And this is not only with this we're working together with Microsoft, we're also working with them together on that AI capabilities. Anybody saw that AI demo this morning? You liked it? Yeah? All right. Because this will come on top what we are proposing today. And this is also one of the joint ventures that we're doing at Microsoft, bringing those engineering team together, right? So,
yeah, I just want to say I'm really excited about the partnership with Veeam too. We've had a long existing technical relationship with them. And like Mike said, I really enjoy our weekly meetings, getting to dive into the tech and deliver some of these great capabilities for everyone to, again, rise to the challenges of scale recovery.
It is true. I do like all that meeting and joint. The only downside is I'm from Belgium. They're sitting in Seattle. Yeah. I either have to move or change my day zone for all these meetings because it's late, but you know,
yeah,
that's it.
I'm eating breakfast while he's eating dinner. It's okay.
All right, so basically I'm really thrilled to introduce Veeam Data Cloud together with Microsoft 365 Backup Storage integration. It's a very simple, right? Very simple but very powerful solution. And you're going to see it. You're going to be the ones that are seeing this in Veeam Data Cloud for the first time. And actually, I'm pretty sure a couple of people of Veeam themselves are sitting in this room because they haven't seen it either. So this is really unique what you're going to see. And when you're going to see my demo, you're going to see that I'm not going to show you a lot. Because that's exactly what it is. It's that simple. And yeah, it will deliver really fast, rapid backup and recovery of huge data sets, right? It will completely adapt to your environment. Are you all the time changing, new users coming in, maybe a few users have to leave the company, you create new SharePoint sites, you remove some and so on. It will automatically adapt to your environment that will make sure that you have the full protection, right? And it gives you, automated backup and recovery management. And again, you're going to see it how simple that is, right? And I'm not even going to show you everything yet because we do have some plans. I might talk a bit about it as well, but I'm not going to show you anything yet. We're going to have to keep a little bit secret until we go, Jay. But by using that innovative backup storage technology that Microsoft has built, we're going to take Microsoft 365 data protection to what we already have, but now we're going to take that to the next level, right?
Great, yeah. So I'm an engineer at heart, so let's dive into the technical details just a little bit so you can understand what's driving the benefits that Mike is talking about here. This is an architectural overview of what we're delivering, and the way that we've built this from the ground up to handle cloud scale recovery. Before I dive into the Microsoft 365 backup storage itself, I just want to highlight that all of your M365 data is already stored in physically redundant, geographically separated locations to provide the best high availability and disaster recovery resiliency possible. That's all natively baked into the service today, so no need to worry about all of that. Now, the M365 backup storage platform is architected in a similar manner in that we take point-in-time copies of your data for later restoration, stored again in physically redundant, geographically separated locations, but still within the Microsoft 365 trust boundary, which is really a logical construct more so than a physical one. So, and I'll get into that a little bit in a second here. So overall, the benefits that you get when you use Veeam's application, VDC, built on top of the Microsoft 365 backup storage is ultra-fast recovery. And I really want to point out, you're not really buying a backup solution. What you're really buying is the ability to recover from a disastrous event to maintain your business continuity. That's the really most important key point to take away from all of this. So with the backup storage platform and Veeam's integration, you're able to recover your data to a healthy prior point in time, orders of magnitude faster than otherwise possible, which means that after a disastrous event, you're going to have your business back up and running in a matter of hours versus sometimes weeks or months. So it's really critical here that you're able to get your business up to a healthy state as fast as possible before you're forced to pay any ransom whatsoever. I think you might have heard in the keynote this morning that folks that are hit by ransom pay their money and then end up having to repay and repay. And so you want to remove that moral hazard. You want to just get your tenant back to a healthy state and time as quickly as possible. Tell those ransomers to get lost, show them the door. We don't want to pay you a dime. Now, the other benefit, because of the way we're architected, again, within the logical Microsoft 365 trust boundary, is that your data stays automatically secure, private, and compliant to the same level of standard of all of your Microsoft 365 data. And we automatically honor your data residency requirements. Again, still geographically replicated, physically replicated, but within the portion of the world where you've already told Microsoft to keep your data. You don't have to worry about intergovernmental auditing or concerns there. We just automatically handle that for you. There's a gentleman that came up earlier, right before the talk, talked to Mike and Mike and me about that need exactly. So we're pretty excited about all of that. But overall, again, the thing that you're getting with Veeam's integration with Microsoft 365 backup storage is really fast, secure, compliant, and private recovery to retain business continuity when it matters most for your business.
All right. So just a little bit of a recap, right? Because you hear this integration of Microsoft 365 backup storage, but we're already using Veeam to backup today. So why do we need this? What's going on, right? So again, our method that you're using today is not going to go away, right? We're still going to maintain this and we're still going to keep this. What we're adding is a new method of protecting data. Protecting Microsoft 365 by using a Microsoft backup storage policy. And the biggest difference, as said, has to do with speed and scale. I mean, I think some of you organizations probably are a little bit larger. You used Veeam, you started your initial backup, took a couple of weeks, some companies a couple of months before that initial backup was done. Even if we pushed out everything we could from the bandwidth we could have through those APIs, right? 15 minutes. You're 20,000 users? Well, 15 minutes. 100,000 users? 15 minutes. And you're protected. That's the difference, right? That's how fast it goes. You want to add 1,000 new users? Not a problem. You add them to the policy, you click save, you go get a coffee. By the time you get back, you have protected users. That's the way it works, right? But again, so we're not moving away from what we have, but you will now get through Veeam Data Cloud 2 ways of protecting your data. Either by using the Microsoft 365 backup policy, you can still choose the traditional Veeam backup job, but you can also choose both and have a very, very fast, secure way of protecting your data. But obviously, that depends on your use case and so on and so forth. All right, I guess it's the scary time, demo time.
Demo time.
Yeah. You know what the downside is by working for Veeam? If you're working product management, you have to do demos and they are never on solutions that are finished. All right. Fingers crossed. Okay. Am I still here? Yes, I am. You've seen this, right? This is our Veeam Data Cloud. I've logged in. Please do not try to reach this It's obviously a sandbox site because we're not live yet. And you see some of the statistics that you saw this morning during the keynote demo of VDC as well. And obviously some of these statistics, are going to come back as well for that Microsoft 365 backup integration, right? You'll have the same things as what you have today already in Veeam Data Cloud. You'll have a way to check Outlook or your mail, your OneDrive, your SharePoint, and so on, right? But if you're going to go to the backup policies, then what you're going to see, here we go. That took way longer than I expected. Then what you're going to see is a typical job that you had with Veeam, but under there you see two jobs. One is a OneDrive policy, the other one is a Outlook policy or an Exchange policy, right? And they're active. And the cool thing is, if I'm going to show you, it's really easy. The only thing I did here is edit. I think I chose right now the Exchange policy. You can see I've got already a couple of users in there, right? And I can easily now say, you know, add me some more users or maybe add me some groups so that the people inside those groups automatically get added to the policy. It's nothing more than that. It is kind of the interface that you know from VDC today, right? So I can say this, for example, but I'm not going to do it. But even if you want to create a new policy, and that is what I was trying to say in the beginning of the session, right? This is going to be a very boring short session. Just watch. I'm going to go to backup policies. I'm going to ask, give me a new backup policy. Give me a new fast policy, which is the Microsoft backup policy. By the way, that name is to be decided. Fast, flex, we have that now, but maybe we'll change that. That's obviously not up to us. We're going to go for next. And then you choose what you want to protect. Now, you saw I had a OneDrive policy. You saw I had an Outlook policy. So I'm going to go for a SharePoint policy now. I'm going to say next again, right? OK. Oh. SharePoint. Oh, God. Policy, you can give a description if you want, and then you can simply say, you know what, back up the entire organization. Just give me every site. And every 24 hours, we'll check and we'll make sure that you have all the sites in your environment, right? The same with your Exchange policies and your OneDrive policies, and that's a little bit of a secret sauce that Veeam puts on top of this. You can use security groups in that policy if you want to. And we will check every 24 hours whether those groups are changed and adapt the policy if necessary, right? So we've got the entire organization, maybe not a good idea. Here we go. I can say, sure. I wonder who that Jeff is on my environment. And you can select as much size as you want. You can select the entire organization. You press Save, and once that is done, you will see that the policy will be in updating state right now, and after a while this will change to active and you're protected. And that's it, nothing more. Now, when it comes to restore, that's actually pretty easy. You're going to go to Outlook, right? And I know this is a little bit slower, this was expected. I should have cleaned all my bugs this weekend. Sorry about that. But now it takes a long time. This is always fun, right? Here we go. So what you're going to see is you're going to see some users protected, and I'm going to select one, and it will give me the possibility now, here we go, restore selected mailbox, to use a fast restore or a flex restore, right? So I can now say fast, and once I hit that button, it's gone, and it's actually doing the full restore without any issues. It has started, and when I'm going to go back here, and I would go to view my fast restore session, you will see I had a few ones that are working, that are success and completed, and one is actually being working right now and is doing that entire restore. And that will be a matter of seconds maximum. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, you can correct me now because I dare to make the mistake, right? you are looking at between 2 and 5 terabytes per hour.
Yeah, it's something around that number we're seeing in preview in terms of...
which is very fast to do restores, right? If you would do that or try that with the methods that you use today, well, you would have luck if you have 2 terabytes per 24 hours, right? So this is a huge, huge, huge difference. Oh, here we go. I actually have a result already. Look at that. And let's see what Microsoft tells me as well. And normally that should be, that one is still not 100% clear. All right. In the meantime, let me check my backup policies here for a second. All right, you can see now, let me see if this is finished. And it's an updating state. But as I said, we're still not GA, so we do see from time to time some things. So in a nutshell, what you've seen is it took me, a couple of seconds to create a new policies. To restore, I literally just selected the user. I went to restore, you're good to go, and in a couple of minutes, it's finished, right? It's as simple as that. There's nothing more to it for you to manage this into VDC. And as I said, by the time we go GA, you will obviously see some more statistics in there, but there's even more. One of the really cool things about this is the RBAC that we're going to add on top of this solution, right? And one of the things that we're going to make sure is that you can create custom roles. And you would, for example, to say, okay, this is an M365 backup storage role, something like that, right? Where you can really go for specific people. Think about your help desk administrators or service desk administrators, right? Who you will give a specific scope of what they are allowed to do. Think of your backup administrators, which you kind of would like to see the policies, adapt the policies maybe, see statistics, and so on and so forth. But as you can see, we already have quite a lot of these potential permissions, and we're going to add some very specific ones for this type of backup job as well. Giving you, in your organization, the possibility to say, hey, not only backup admins have access to this console, but those that will man our help desk will be able to do the same thing, right? So you will be able to do all of that. What else can I say about this? Well, you kind of saw already this morning AI, right? This will come on top of this as well, meaning you will see much more, you'll get more information, data, and so on and so forth. And by the way, that AI solution, again, jointly engineered with Microsoft, it's not only pulling data from Microsoft 365, from Microsoft 365 backup storage, from us, but it also uses other tools in Azure where it can draw data from to learn more about your environment and to understand and to give you the needed information. Entra ID obviously being one of those, but there's also Data Connect solutions that we leverage to make sure we get the data we need to give you the best feedback and to let you make the right decisions. All right. And with that, I think I can switch back.
Cool demo, Mike. That was great.
And it worked.
Well, yeah, it worked.
Just a little delay. Remind me that I go to the expo hall now, get a lot of swag so I can make my developers happy when I go back. All right. Now, so what do you think? Was that easy to use? Right? Again, you protect, 15 minutes, you're good to go, which is huge, right? Restore between 2 and 5 terabytes per hour, based obviously small files, big files. Well, you know the drill, right? Is that fast? That is huge fast. That is something we will never be able to do by using EWS, by using CSOM or something like that, right? So it's an amazing, massive speed, and it's very easy to use. I don't know, Brad.
Yeah.
Anything more to say about this?
No, I think we've hit it a bunch. Like, we want you to maintain your business continuity as easily as possible, and I'm really excited about Veeam's integration on top of us. Really cool RBAC controls, familiar UI, integration with all sorts of different products. Really amazing solution that they're helping to put into your hands. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys adopt it in the future.
Yeah, and as I said, Microsoft Backup Storage, it is coming into VDC, but if you want, you can see VDC in action already today. Just, this QR code, and I'm assuming that all the PowerPoint slides will go up, right? It's an interactive demo, so you can already see how easy it is to manage, to configure, and so on and so forth. And obviously, the integration, which is coming, Enter ID, which is coming, so we quite have lots of new things, new cool things that we're going to show you, right? If you want to use Veeam Data Cloud today, why would you want to do it? Well, we've got some compelling reasons, I think. Simple data protection, quick and easy setup, time and money savings. I think you heard that this morning as well. We've got unlimited storage. Well, it's still a computer somewhere, but we've got unlimited storage and much more. And then with that integration, you'll be able to leverage the latest innovation in the market, actually in backup technology, because this is rather exclusive, right?
Very, very much so. Good club to be in.
In the beginning, we kind of said, oh, this looks like you can compare it with snapshot technologies from hypervisors, but realistically, it's actually even more new and innovating than but it is there, and it is created specifically for Microsoft 365 environments. So if you want to, you can always try it out. Now, right, I should not forget this. If you want to be the first one to know when this is going to be available, there's two options. You use that QR code, I will be notified, or you try to annoy me until I give you the date. But I don't have it yet, so don't do it now.
But it's soon, right, Mike?
It's soon, it's soon.
Yeah.
I know, we're not allowed to say it, right? But once we know and we can say it, we will certainly let you know. All right, before we end the session, I do believe there are no microphones, so I'll probably have to listen very well then and repeat your question. But do we have any questions right now in the room? Yes, sir.
So you have RBAC capabilities in there. Is this designed to be able to provide multiple protections for multiple tenants and assign those rollbacks so that org1, somebody from org1 only sees org1 and have those roles, or you can almost service provider if you want?
Yes, it's fully, it's created like that. In fact, I haven't shown you, right, but if you're going to log in, and now I kind of need to, let me see, no. Can I, where is it? Kind of will need to cheat a bit here, I guess, in this test environment. I can't show it in this specific environment. But the only way you get into VDC is by using your M365 business account. So if you log in, you will see the data of your. On the other hand, if you are a little bit of a, I wouldn't say power administrator, but you're able to manage multiple, here we go. See, small bug over there. But you will see that I can actually manage a couple of tenants, right? So it is possible. No. So when you join VDC, obviously at that point in time, first you need to, register with VDC, and you kind of have a VDC user, a Veeam Data Cloud user. But then you decide to activate it, and everything goes through your Microsoft 365 account, which also means it's not Veeam who's doing the authentication. It is all of the good stuff of Microsoft that is doing the authentication. Do you have MFA on your phone? Well, to log in, you're going to have MFA on your phone, right? All of these things automatically come there. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Will there be at launch hooks to VSPC?
Will there be hooks to VCS, the console? We call it the console, the Veeam Certified Service Provider console. Not yet at launch, but a little bit later there will come hooks into. Yes. Yes, sir.
Is the backed up data immutable?
Sorry?
Is the backed up data immutable?
Okay. Is the backup data immutable?
It's a great question. Probably slipped my mind while I was talking about it. But yes, it is. It is immutable. We store them in immutable blobs under the hood or in another storage system for exchange online. So those cannot be modified at all. Like if there's a ransomware attack, there's no way for the ransomware to overwrite those prior points in time. You can always go back to them. So totally secure and recoverable in that sense. Great question.
Okay, sir.
When you created the path backup policy, I saw the exchange online with SharePoint, but not Teams. Is that coming? Or?
Yeah, so good question. Teams is coming. I'll say right now, though, that the thing that isn't quite covered is really Teams chats, and that is what's coming in the future. But if you have a SharePoint site backing a Teams channel, for example, if you post a file to a Teams channel, it's actually living in SharePoint. And so if you click that back up all my SharePoint, you're covered there automatically. Nothing to worry about there. Chats will be coming in the not too distant future.
Quick follow-up.
Sure.
Will I need the extra API for that as well for the chats? Or,
That'll be integrated into the backup storage solution, and Veeam will provide a little option to say also back up my Teams chats by user or something like that.
and then it will use this API?
Yeah, correct. All built in. Other benefit too is like any new file formats that exist, like if you think about loop or fluid formats in Microsoft 365 Online, those are all automatically covered as well. You don't have to worry about, oh, there's new file formats to reason over. It's just automatically handled by the software.
All right, sir.
Plans for advanced threat protection components to be part of the exchange backup restore as well? Because with SharePoint, OneDrive, you do see it flagged and being saying this is a potentially malware and malicious file and that sort of stuff. Are there plans to do that out in the actual mail?
Sure, I think, so today there's some features built into Microsoft Defender and Advanced Threat Protection in Microsoft, but I don't know, Mike, if you guys do additional.
Yeah.
That's not what's there already.
It is what's there already. There is some anomaly detection to detect weird events that might not look kosher, so to speak.
Yeah.
But anything else that Veeam
Yeah,
does?
the way that we're doing it now with the advanced threat detection with Veeam, it's a little bit different, but that probably won't come immediately, but I'm pretty sure the future will show that there are other options possible. But as he said, they're using obviously Defender in the backend, and actually when we do Veeam backup currently for Microsoft 365, we do use the same technology that they use in the backend to detect and not download certain files that are having issues, right? So, yeah. Wow, still so many fingers. Yes, sir. Can we talk about the licensing model? Sure. Yes. The licensing model is, well, there's obviously the licensing model that Microsoft has, right? And that we are going to work with. But in VDC, right now, the goal would be to charge you per user a fixed fee per month. Even though that could be very difficult for us, but we're going to charge you per user, and it's only the users that we will charge are the same users that you are being charged for in Microsoft. So the ones with a license, yes. If you have, no, it's if you have now 20,000 licensed users, we're going to charge you 20,000 licensed users, but we're not charging the shared model. You can protect them, but we're not charging them. So the license model is exactly the same. If you have one license, user license in Microsoft, we will ask for one user license in Veeam. So it's exactly the same thing. All right, sir.
Is there an option to bring additional storage solutions instead of just using Microsoft?
Is there an option to use additional or different storage systems? You want to answer that?
So I think Veeam offers that as part of its suite. The Microsoft 365 backup storage, because of the way it's architected to keep the data in the trust boundary, doesn't really accept connectors, so to speak, but you can put data into M365 and then back it up with Microsoft 365 backup storage. But Veeam offers a full suite of products.
I think it's something which you might want to think of, right? You can have this fast stuff, really fast. You're protected, you're good. but you still want to go off-site, that is possible, but then you're going to have to use the Veeam method as well. Okay, 5 more minutes. I might go over in that direction, or they will tell me that I'm ignoring them.
It's a related question. Since it's so fast, you must presume that the data is very close to the backup storage, right? So maybe the same availability zone.
So
the question is, since it's so fast, I need to repeat the question for
Yeah.
Since it's so fast, he assumes that the storage is very close to the data location.
Yeah, so I think the key thing to realize about Microsoft 365, again, is we have multiple active copies of the data to provide high availability and disaster recovery natively. And so at any given point in time, we have backups close enough to one of the active regions to be able to recover quickly. But there's actually more to it than just that. We actually keep the data in its native file format. So the main benefit you're getting in terms of speed, compliance, security, all of that, is the fact that we're not translating the bits up to some other location. It's actually staying in its native format so that the Microsoft 365 SharePoint, OneDrive, Exchange, Teams, services understand it natively and do not have to translate anything. That's really where the most speed benefit comes from. But still, again, multiple active copies to protect HADR.
All right, since we're running out of time, I'm going to have one more question on this side, but I think we can stay afterwards, right?
Yeah, happy
a
to
bit
answer
longer.
questions after.
So please come afterwards, certainly up front. But one more question this side. I thought I still saw, no?
I think this.
Anybody with a question? Yeah, sir.
Will this increase the storage costs of Microsoft? I mean, with different retention policies, like local retention policies?
So the backup. Yeah, so to repeat, the question is, will this increase your Microsoft storage costs? The answer is no, this does not impact your primary storage costs. It is a separate service, a separate copy of the data that will be inherently covered by Veeam's charge model that this gentleman asked about earlier.
Yeah, so the good news is you don't have to pay Microsoft for it, you're going to pay me.
Yeah.
All right, as I said, we are going to stay here for more questions, so feel free to come over. But in the meantime, thank you very much and enjoy the rest of Veeam On.
Thank you, everyone.